The concept of trusting the process is a powerful one, especially in a world that constantly encourages immediate action, quick results, and a fast-paced lifestyle. In today's society, it often feels as though success is measured by how quickly you can achieve your goals or how much you can accomplish in a short amount of time. We're frequently bombarded by the idea that if you're not constantly moving forward, you're falling behind. This mindset can create a sense of urgency, pressure, and sometimes even anxiety, driving people to take impulsive actions without fully understanding the larger picture. However, when we learn to embrace silence and trust the natural flow of life, we begin to understand that not everything needs to be rushed or forced. Trusting the process requires a shift in perspective, one that focuses on patience, self-awareness, and the understanding that not every outcome can be controlled. In many areas of life, whether it's in our careers, relationships, or personal growth, we tend to have a vision of what we want. And when we want it, while having goals is important, constantly pushing for immediate results often leads to frustration and burnout. The reality is that not everything happens according to our timetable. Sometimes the most valuable lessons come from waiting and allowing things to unfold naturally. In times of silence, we give ourselves the opportunity to detach from the pressure of urgency. Rather than forcing things to happen, we create space for life to move at its own pace. Silence teaches us that everything doesn't need to be an immediate action. When we pause and take a step back, we allow ourselves to gain a broader perspective. We stop seeing life as something that must be conquered and start viewing it as something that can be experienced in its own time with its own rhythms, own cycles. Trusting the process also means acknowledging that life's outcomes are not always in our hands. We may set goals, plan our steps, and put in the hard work, but there are forces beyond our control. Whether it's timing, external circumstances, or the actions of others, we must accept that certain things are simply out of our reach. Instead of resisting this uncertainty, silence helps us embrace it. It teaches that not every twist and turn in life needs to be planned or predicted. The magic often happens when we let go of the need to micromanage every moment and instead trust that the universe or the natural flow of life will present us with what we need at the right time. One of the most profound aspects of trusting the process is learning to be patient. We are so conditioned to expect instant results that patience can sometimes feel like a foreign concept. We live in an era where everything is available at the touch of a button, from food delivery to social media updates. This instant gratification has led us to expect quick fixes in all aspects of life. But when we embrace silence and trust the process, we realize that many of life's most important moments take time. Growth doesn't happen overnight. Building meaningful relationships, mastering a skill, or achieving long-term success all require time, dedication, and the willingness to endure setbacks along the way. Through silence, we learn to be patient with ourselves. Instead of rushing through life in pursuit of external achievements, we begin to appreciate the journey itself. This patience allows us to accept that not everything will happen as quickly as we want, but that doesn't mean we aren't making progress. Often, the real work happens in the quiet moments when we're not frantically trying to make things happen, but instead allowing ourselves the space to develop and evolve naturally. In trusting the process, we also learn to cultivate resilience. Life is unpredictable and challenges are inevitable. We may face moments of doubt, frustration, or even failure. However, when we remain silent and trust the process, we start to view these challenges as part of the journey rather than as obstacles that halt our progress. Silence helps us to calm our minds and regain perspective when things don't go according to plan. Rather than reacting hastily, we give ourselves the opportunity to reflect, learn, and adjust our approach with a clear mind. Trusting the process means accepting setbacks as a normal part of growth and using them as stepping stones to move forward, stronger and wiser than before. Trusting the process is about having faith in life's natural unfolding. Silence provides a space to develop that faith, to let go of the need for control, and to embrace the uncertainty that life brings. Instead of forcing outcomes or obsessing over timelines, we begin to trust that everything will come to us when it is meant to. This understanding leads to greater peace of mind, less stress, and a deeper sense of fulfillment as we progress through life. By learning to trust the process, we can release the pressure to rush and instead allow ourselves to move forward through a pace that feels right for us, knowing that everything we need will come in its own time. Self-reflection is one of the most important benefits of embracing silence in our lives. In the fast-paced, constantly connected world we live in, it's easy to lose sight of who we are and what truly matters to us. We are often surrounded by noise, whether it's the demands of our jobs, the opinions of others, or the incessant buzz of social media, that it can be difficult to hear our own thoughts and understand our own desires. The noise can become overwhelming, drowning out the internal voice that guides us toward authenticity and true fulfillment. It is in silence that we create the space necessary to listen to ourselves, to reflect on our experiences, and to rediscover our core values and priorities. In a world that constantly tells us what we should want or how we should live, silence offers the opportunity to step back and reconnect with our true selves. When we are quiet, we can examine our own thoughts and feelings without the interference of outside influences. We can ask ourselves important questions such as, what do I truly desire? What are my core values? Am I living a life that aligns with my authentic self? These moments of introspection are invaluable because they allow us to take stock of our lives and ensure that we are moving in the direction that feels right for us, rather than simply following societal expectations or the demands of others. Self-reflection in silence also allows us to gain clarity on our past experiences. Often we rush through life without fully understanding the lessons we've learned or the patterns we've repeated. By taking the time to reflect in quiet solitude, we can gain a deeper understanding of our choices, actions, and behaviors. We can look back on our successes and failures not with judgment, but with the goal of learning and growth. Reflection helps us identify areas where we may have gone wrong and allows us to make adjustments moving forward. It also helps us celebrate our victories, no matter how small, and acknowledge the progress we've made. Furthermore, silence can help us gain insight into our emotional state. In the hustle and bustle of daily life, it's easy to suppress emotions or overlook how we're truly feeling. We may distract ourselves with work, entertainment, or social interactions, but in silence, we are forced to confront our emotions head-on. This confrontation can be uncomfortable, but it is necessary for growth. Silence provides the opportunity to sit with our emotions, to understand why we feel a certain way, and to process them in a healthy manner. Whether it's grief, anger, fear, or joy, silence allows us to acknowledge our emotions without judgment and begin the work of healing or acceptance. Through this process of self-reflection, we also gain a clearer understanding of our personal goals. Often we are so focused on what we should do or what others expect of us that we lose sight of what we truly want to achieve. Silence allows us to step away from external pressures and reconnect with our own dreams and ambitions. When we're not constantly reacting to the noise around us, we can evaluate what we want for ourselves and set goals that align with our authentic desires. These goals may change over time, and that's okay. Self-reflection helps us stay connected to the evolving nature of who we are. Self-reflection also strengthens our decision-making abilities. When we are constantly reacting to external influences, our decisions can be impulsive or based on fear, insecurity, or pressure. In silence, we can approach decisions with a clear mind, free from the noise and distractions that often cloud our judgment. This clarity allows us to make more thoughtful, intentional choices that reflect our true values and goals. It helps us to trust our instincts and make decisions that are aligned with our deeper sense of purpose. Another benefit of self-reflection through silence is that it fosters personal growth. In quiet moments, we can gain insight into our strengths and weaknesses. We can recognize areas of our lives where we've grown and areas where we still need to improve. This self-awareness is key to evolving as individuals. It encourages us to embrace change, learn from our experiences, and continue developing in ways that are meaningful and fulfilling. Self-reflection challenges us to become better versions of ourselves by encouraging continuous learning and self-improvement. Ultimately, silence provides the space we need to reconnect with who we truly are. In the absence of external noise, we can hear our inner voice clearly. We can reflect on our past, examine our present, and plan for the future in a way that is true to ourselves. Self-reflection in silence is a powerful tool for personal growth, decision-making, and emotional well-being. It allows us to stay grounded, focused, and aligned with our true desires, helping us navigate the complexities of life with greater clarity and purpose. One of the most significant aspects of embracing silence is that it opens the door to natural opportunities and solutions. In our fast-paced world, we often feel the pressure to act quickly, make decisions immediately, and solve problems as soon as they arise. This constant rush can lead to hasty decisions, increased stress, and sometimes even poor outcomes. However, when we allow ourselves the space and time to be silent, we can create an environment where the right opportunities and solutions can appear naturally, without the forceful push that often accompanies our attempts to control every situation. When we are quiet, we give ourselves a chance to observe the world around us with greater awareness and clarity. Instead of jumping into action right away, we take a step back and allow life to unfold in its own way. This stillness provides us with the opportunity to notice things we might have missed if we were moving too quickly. Opportunities often arise when we least expect them, and by being silent and receptive, we open ourselves up to receiving these opportunities. Silence allows us to be present in the moment and see the possibilities that may be hidden beneath the surface. Furthermore, silence creates the space for creative thinking. When we're constantly on the go, our minds are often cluttered with 1,000 thoughts, distractions, and responsibilities. This mental noise can make it difficult to come up with innovative solutions or think outside the box. However, when we embrace silence, we give our minds the chance to relax and wander freely. In this peaceful space, creative ideas can flow more naturally. Problems that once seemed insurmountable may suddenly appear solvable, and new ways of approaching a situation may emerge that we hadn't considered before. The natural unfolding of solutions is a key benefit of silence because it allows us to detach from the need to control everything. Often we try to force solutions or outcomes, believing that we must actively work hard to achieve success. This mentality can sometimes backfire, leading to frustration or burnout. By stepping into silence, we can release the need for constant effort and allow the right solutions to come to us in their own time. This doesn't mean that we stop working toward our goals, but rather that we stop forcing things and allow them to unfold organically. When we stop trying to control every aspect of a situation, we create the space for the universe, life, or what you may believe in, to bring the right answers at the right time. Moreover, silence helps us develop a sense of patience and trust us. When we're constantly rushing to make things happen, we can become impatient and discouraged when things don't go according to plan. However, silence allows us to slow down and trust that everything will come to fruition when the time is right. It teaches us to have faith that the right opportunities will appear and the right solutions will present themselves when we least expect it. This patience is a powerful tool because it helps us maintain a sense of calm and control, even in the midst of uncertainty or challenge. Silence also fosters a sense of acceptance and surrender. Instead of fighting against the current or resisting the natural flow of life, we learn to go with the flow. This acceptance doesn't mean that we give up or become passive. Rather, it means that we allow life to unfold without constantly trying to force outcomes. We recognize that not everything is within our control, and by embracing this truth, we release the pressure we place on ourselves to achieve things on our own timeline. This sense of surrender can be incredibly liberating as it frees us from the need to constantly chase after success or strive for perfection. By embracing silence and letting things unfold naturally, we also create a deeper connection with ourselves and with the world around us. We learn to listen more attentively to our intuition, which often has the answers we seek, but which can be drowned out by the noise of everyday life. Silence allows us to hear our inner voice, to recognize what we truly need, and to take the right actions that will lead us to the solutions we seek. The natural unfolding of opportunities and solutions is a direct result of creating space for silence in our lives. When we stop rushing, stop forcing, and stop trying to control every outcome, we allow life to guide us in its own way. We become more receptive, more open, and more in tune with the subtle cues that life provides. By embracing silence, we give ourselves the opportunity to step back, observe, and trust that everything will fall into place at the right time. This sense of ease and trust can lead to a more fulfilling and peaceful life where we are not constantly chasing after solutions, but instead allowing them to come naturally. Finding balance between action and stillness is one of the most profound lessons that silence teaches us. In our modern world, we are often encouraged to constantly hustle, do more, and push harder. Success is often portrayed as a result of relentless action, and any sign of slowing down or taking a pause is seen as weakness or complacency. However, the truth is that achieving a sense of balance between action and stillness is crucial for long-term fulfillment, well-being, and productivity. Silence provides the space for us to learn when to push forward and when to step back, helping us avoid burnout and make more thoughtful, intentional decisions. Action is undeniably important. Without it, we cannot move forward in life or accomplish our goals. It is through action that we take the necessary steps toward achieving our dreams, building relationships, and creating the lives we want. However, action without reflection or pause can lead to exhaustion, mistakes, and a sense of being disconnected from our true selves. We may find ourselves constantly busy but never truly satisfied, always moving but never feeling grounded. In this state, we risk losing sight of why we are pursuing certain goals in the first place and whether those truly align with our authentic desires. Silence, on the other hand, helps us to cultivate a sense of stillness that allows us to assess our situation and regain perspective. It creates the space to step back from the chaos of daily life and check in with ourselves. Are we heading in the right direction? Are we prioritizing the right things? Are we pushing too hard and neglecting our mental and emotional well-being? In the moments of quiet reflection that silence provides, we gain clarity and insight into what matters most. This pause allows us to reevaluate our goals, adjust our approach, and ensure that we are moving forward in a way that feels intentional and true to our values. Embracing silence also teaches us that there are times when we must let go of the need to control every aspect of our lives. Constantly striving for more, pushing ourselves to do better, or constantly being in motion can lead to stress, overwhelm, and a sense of being out of control. When we learn to find stillness, we learn to trust that everything doesn't need to be micromanaged or forced into existence. Some things in life require time and space to unfold naturally. By pausing, we give ourselves permission to step away from the noise and simply be present, knowing that things will happen when they are meant to, without the need for relentless effort. Finding balance also means learning when to take a break from action in order to preserve our energy. When we are constantly in motion, whether physically or mentally, we drain ourselves. This can lead to burnout, exhaustion, and a lack of creativity or motivation. Silence provides the opportunity to rest and recharge, ensuring that we can continue to take meaningful actions without overexerting ourselves. It's in the moments of stillness that we are able to replenish our mental and emotional reserves, allowing us to approach our goals with renewed energy and a clearer sense of purpose. The balance between action and stillness is also about recognizing the rhythm of life. There are times when we need to push forward, to take bold steps, and to take action toward our goals. But there are also times when we must slow down, listen to our inner voice, and allow things to unfold in their own time. Silence teaches us to understand this rhythm and to honor it. Just as nature has its seasons, times for growth and times for rest, our lives also move in cycles. The balance between action and stillness requires us to be in tune with these cycles, to know when it's time to take decisive steps and when it's time to pause and reflect. When we find this balance, we experience greater peace and a deeper sense of satisfaction in our lives. We become more attuned to the flow of life, trusting that we don't have to force everything to happen at once. By learning when to act and when to be still, we can approach life with a greater sense of ease and alignment. Silence allows us to connect with this deeper rhythm, providing the clarity and peace needed to navigate the complexities of life with intention and grace. Finding balance between action and stillness is about living in harmony with ourselves and the world around us. It's about understanding that both action and stillness are necessary components of a fulfilling life. Silence offers us the space to discover this balance and to align our efforts with our inner wisdom. By embracing stillness when needed and taking intentional action when the time is right, we can achieve our goals while maintaining a sense of peace and well-being. This balance allows us to move through life with greater confidence, purpose, and clarity, knowing that everything will fall into place when we learn to trust the process and honor both action and rest. The concept of trust in the process is intertwined with the idea that things will unfold in their own time without the constant need to force or rush outcomes. We live in a world where the pressure to achieve, to perform, and to constantly be doing something is overwhelming. The constant hustle and urgency often make us feel as though every moment must be filled with action or productivity. And the idea of waiting or allowing things to develop naturally can seem counterproductive or even passive. However, trusting the process involves embracing the understanding that progress, growth, and success don't always happen according to our timeline, but rather in their own time. When we step into silence, we create the space to develop this trust. Silence allows us to detach from the noise of the world and from the immediate pressures that often push us into hasty decisions. In these moments of stillness, we can recognize that not every outcome needs to be immediately controlled or forced. Trust in the process means having faith that things will unfold as they are meant to, without the need for constant interference. This does not mean we stop taking action or being proactive in our lives. Rather, it means that we release the need to control every step of the journey. One of the key components of trusting the process is learning to embrace uncertainty. In a world where control is often emphasized, uncertainty can feel like a source of anxiety. We may become anxious or impatient when things don't go according to plan or when we can't predict how a situation will turn out. Yet silence helps us come to terms with this uncertainty. It allows us to step back, breathe, and understand that not everything needs to be figured out right now. Sometimes the answers come when we stop trying to force them and allow ourselves the patience to let things evolve naturally. When we embrace silence, we also learn to trust ourselves and our instincts. Often in moments of uncertainty, we may look to others for advice or guidance in our own decisions or path. But silence teaches us to listen to our inner voice and to trust our own judgment. By stepping into quiet moments, we create the space to reflect on our experiences, examine our choices, and reconnect with our intuition. This trust in ourselves becomes a critical part of trusting the process. Instead of feeling lost or confused by the noise around us, we learn to navigate life with confidence, knowing that we have the inner wisdom to make decisions that align with our values and goals. Another crucial aspect of trusting the process is patience. In a society that rewards quick fixes and instant gratification, patience can feel like a lost art. We often want things to happen right away. Whether it's achieving a personal goal, reaching a milestone in our career, or solving a problem. The impatience we feel can lead us to act rashly or impulsively, only to find that we've made mistakes or missed valuable opportunities because we didn't give ourselves the time to reflect and wait for the right moment. Silence cultivates patience by helping us to embrace the idea that some things take time. Just as a seed requires time and care to grow into a full-grown plant, our goals and aspirations require patience and nurturing before they can come to fruition. In trusting the process, we learn to accept that setbacks are a natural part of the journey. There will be times when things don't go as planned, when we face obstacles or challenges that seem insurmountable. In those moments, it's easy to become discouraged and question our path. However, silence allows us to step back and gain perspective. Instead of reacting impulsively or panicking, we create the space to reflect on what went wrong, what we can learn from the experience, and how we can adjust our approach moving forward. Trust in the process means understanding that failure is not the end, but rather part of the learning and growth process. These moments of difficulty often hold the most valuable lessons, and by embracing them with patience and resilience, we can move forward stronger than before. Trusting the process is about surrendering to the flow of life. It's about letting go of the need to control every detail and allowing ourselves to trust that things will unfold as they are meant to. Silence creates a space for this surrender. It quiets the mind, calms the anxiety, and allows us to sit in the present moment, knowing that everything is unfolding in its own time. When we stop forcing, stop rushing, and simply allow life to guide us, we open ourselves up to the natural flow of opportunities, insights, and growth. Trusting the process is not about inaction or passivity. It's about cultivating faith in the journey and understanding that everything will come to us when the time is right. Trusting the process brings a sense of peace and confidence. By embracing silence and patience, we align ourselves with the natural rhythm of life, knowing that our efforts will bear fruit when the time is right. Through this trust, we learn to enjoy the journey, even in moments of uncertainty, and recognize that the best things often come to us when we stop trying to force them into existence.